So, alright, let's get back in. No! Our fighter ship is going down! What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Sean. People on the internet call me Spumwack, and today we're going to be doing something awesome, if I do say so myself. These carpenter blocks have really got me thinking. I've done a little frame somewhat around the outside of the ship. What on earth happened here? You need to get fixed, my friend. I did a little frame around the outside of the ship, and I made some changes in here. But for the most part, I think that their design can be used to make a really sleek airship. A really slender design, if you will. Notice it's pretty simple. Most mods are totally compatible with Archimedes' ships, so I'm presuming Carpenter's is the same, especially because I've seen other people do it. So we'll assemble and mount, and we do have a little triangle thing on the front of our ship. Neat stuff. So what I would like to do, look at me, now when I fly, I actually have this helicopter. This carrier is what's making me fly. It's awesome. Not really, it's just a hat. Anyways, so this is going to be a jet fighter, and we're actually going to be moving it. I don't know why I decided to put it right here, because we're going to be using stuff from some other mods on this ship that may crash the server, as long as we're being perfectly honest. But I think it'll end up with a really cool design. I want to make a fighter jet using Archimedes ships, but it's going to have to be big, because jets are sleek in nature. If you look at a fighter jet's wings, they're very thin compared to the body of the ship. So in order to do that, we need to make like a really thick... So this is going to be like just the center nose cone, and then this is going to be like the cockpit right here. And we'll see what size this thing ends up getting fleshed out. But I've got some really cool ideas for how this thing can work once we get it going. But we just need to craft the stuff up to do so first. And I'm also probably going to do it outside of this chunk. Let's drop that cobble because I don't need you. I want to do it outside of this chunk because on the off chance that it does end up crashing the server, I don't trust the water raider. I'll just take an iron axe. Do I have a diamond axe? No, I don't. On the off chance that it does end up crashing the server, I'd prefer if it's in that crash happens in, like, a chunk where we can just, like, delete the whole ship. I don't think that'll be an issue, but it's just, like, a little necessary safety precaution. But before I get started on that, I just want to go over some slight changes that I've made to the base for any interested parties. So first of all, you've probably noticed the yellow and black border we have going around this entire thing. I was gonna build a chunk loader. You can look up chunk loader in the pack, and that requires another star. Now, I do have a bunch of wither heads, but I'm slightly short on redstone. I've only got like one stack of redstone blocks, and I didn't want to have to go out of my way to kill a wither. So I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and build a quarry instead, because quarries keep chunks loaded as well. So that's how I've got my entire base operational now. You see the chunk boundary on this thing. I placed this on purpose just inside, or just outside of this chunk, so that this one also loads this chunk, and this chunk. So this thing is the barrier, but it also loads these because I wanted to make sure the tree farm was loaded. Look at all those red lines going up. Looks beautiful. I wanted to make sure the tree farm was loaded. I wanted to make sure the mob farm and the blood altar were all inside loading range. And these days, we made a few adjustments to this machine. And you can see from here, the items go down through this chest. We've got another redstone furnace because I felt like I didn't have enough. So there's 4 furnaces now. We have deep storage units for our logs. So we got 10,000, 1,500, and 3,300. How that works is basically if this chest fills up, it goes into this chest where they get immediately pumped in here. We can't open that chest because there's dirt up there. Trees growing up there. But basically, once this chest gets full, that's when we start going into the deep storage unit. So this is basically what's going to be coal, and this is what's going to stay wood. We could do more coal if we wanted to, but I don't really have any to. We also threw on a couple more generators because ever since the latest update, the farming station is actually using power. Even if I got rid of this capacitor, it would still be using power, and it's got some speed. I should put some more speed upgrades on that thing. Let's do that right now. As long as we're just messing around with this thing anyway, I do not see the need for having items just tossed about up here when they don't need to be sitting on the ground. So, bam! 15 from 3. That should suffice. That should suffice in sucking all items out of here instantly. Alright, do your thing. There it goes. And it's gone. Alright, perfect. So, hopefully that thing will stop getting full now. Now, if you were curious where this ender chest goes, it's also basically another battery full of charcoal. Let's go over to the other dimension, basically the mining dimension. Hopefully, this dimension changer has a bad habit of rubber band. Yeah, like that. It rubber bands me back, so I need to do this a few times to like get it to stick. It's very frustrating. You gonna stay? Good? I think we're good. So my quarry over here in this dimension... Oh, by the way, I have a quarry. I've got a quarry over here. I said I didn't want to use quarries, but I was just so short on everything. I don't know how you could possibly... With all this mods and all this expensive crafting recipes, it would just be too tedious to not have a quarry. So I decided to get one set up. It's a fairly simple design. Simply pumped out of our charcoal chest into a furnace generator. We could have more, it could go faster, but I just wanted to throw this together real quick because I was short on resources. And this will take about 24 hours to finish. It's been up for about 12 hours now. Actually, what are we at? 90? Get down to, this better go down to at least 45. I hope it looks like it's good, yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna take about 24 hours to finish this entire thing. What's cool about the mining dimension is that it's basically no mobs spawn here, no animals spawn here. But every single ore, including nether ores, spawns here. I don't know if ores from the end spawn here, but nether ores, they do spawn here. So we've just got a whole bunch of really simple barrels from this point on to hold stuff. We do have 3 deep storage units to keep what we're going to hang on to most of. So we've got wood in that one, we got cobble in this one, we got gravel in this one. That's because those tend to be a problem, and come to think of it, probably should have an obsidian one. That was an error on my part, but I'll worry about that later off camera. Now you're probably asking why I'm using cobblestone transport pipes right here. The only answer to that is because I can. I felt it wasn't as cool having a quarry where you couldn't see all the little blocks get pumped up through the pipes. So I just decided to do that instead, at least for the first part, and then I realized it would get, too expensive and tedious to have a whole bunch of sorting pipes, because these require 2 diamonds to build 8 of these things. And you have to seed it with whatever you know is going to be there. But with extra utilities, I didn't have to know. I was just going to drop the first thing whenever it comes across it. So, as the quarry now, we've still got 12 hours ahead of us. I've made sure we're not going to lose any diamonds or gold by having it be the very first thing. And we should probably head back and get to work on this jet. So that's what I'm going to do. First, there is going to be some necessary inventory prepping. Alright, this is going to be the chunk we're working in here. Ooh, we can even see a nice little grid. We don't need to be super centered with it. I just wanted to make sure it would be not a problem if we needed to delete some of the chunk. So this thing is probably going to be white. Not that makes a big difference at this stage of this thing, because mostly we're just going to be working with carpenter's blocks. We're going to have something like this. A little upward slant right next to, actually not a downward slant. Because we're going to have a conical head... Oop, I'm messing with this thing. Actually, I want to see something. Can you place these on a side? No, looks like they can only be up and down. That is a freaking shame. Let's get back to the normal wedge slope. So we're going to have a simple white block right there. And then we're going to have this thing sort of be shaped like the windows are. That's the closest we can get to a cone using carpenter's blocks. And these jets do have conical shaped fronts. So now we throw down our wedge slopes on the side of this thing. I've been doing this for a while, so I've gotten this well practiced. Oop. Occasionally that happens. It's really unfortunate when it does. Make sure these are all sideways looking. And I do believe we smack the ones on the top 9 times and the ones on the bottom 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, maybe it was 10 and 9. 1, whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10? Oh, I guess it's both 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, that's done, and now we want to add a wedge to the front upwards like that, just because it'll give it sort of more of a sharper nose cone look to it, if you ask me. Should it be facing down? I'm kind of thinking it should be... No, I like up. I like up. What's the whole ship? No, it should be down, shouldn't it? Let's compare. Let's compare and contrast. Take notes. I think I like down more. Yeah, I like down more. So now we're going to pull this entire thing back. Here's where things get complicated, and I sort of forgot that we need, if we want this thing to actually fly and be piloted, this thing needs to be made up of white air balloon blocks. So we may have to be using that instead of the colored stone. Let's go do that. What's unfortunate is that despite the amount of time I've been here setting up, I'm actually fairly short on wool. Not to, well, you know, considering how much I have of other things, like 10,000, 20,000. Like, this is basically all I have, plus a handful more. And string. Unfortunately, you need both wool and string to make air balloon blocks, which I do not have an excess of. But we do have a handful of wool, which we can throw in the pulverizer to make lots of string out of. So that's one useful thing we can do. And I've resigned myself to finally utilizing my sheep farm. My goal all along was to turn this farm into a decent sheep spawner. That way I could have an endless amount of wool. So I've been breeding these guys like crazy. And I've finally reached the point where I'm cashing in. I'm cashing in all the sheep I've saved up. So we've got, I don't know, probably about 100 sheep here, maybe more. If we got Soul Stealer 5, that should give us 500 souls, roughly, in that region. So I'm just going to do shear, smack, shear, smack, shear, smack, shear, smack. And it looks like, actually, no one here has any wool, so we can just kill a whole bunch right here. We have a whole bunch of room in this pen, so hopefully they stop going into the corners, because look what they're doing. This is freaking ridiculous. I don't know why they're doing this. And it really seems to be... I don't know, they're all teleporting around. It's all weird right now. I don't know what's going on, but this is gonna take a minute. Oh, a spirit! Oh, I get Soul Steal a spirit! Yes! Spirits drop ectoplasm. So I've also got a soul shard for any spirits that randomly drop, and they're actually fairly rare, which is why I'm trying to actually focus on collecting them. Oh, whoa, look, looks like I made him spread out a little bit more with that kill. So we've reduced our numbers to 4, which means we got 440 kills in our soul shard. Hopefully that'll be enough to get a decently spawning spawner. It's been a while since I've made an addition to the old spawner over here, but I think this will do the trick. Now I should have a soul cage lying around somewhere, but if I remember where... Okay, so we've made some slight adjustments to the spawner. We've got our tier 4 sheep spawner in there. You can tell it is spawning sheep at a fairly regular basis. That's going to be getting us a lot of wool, so I figured it would also be best to go ahead and go with a deep storage unit to collect it. Yeah, we've already got, you know, a whole bunch in here. Let's go ahead and throw the 10 back in there. So, now, we're not going to be running out of wool anytime soon. We've also got one for the mutton, just because of the sheer amount the sheep are going to be spawning. Meanwhile, these amounts, you know... I've only gotten this far. I should probably just start building deep storage units for absolutely everything, because there's no reason not to, especially with a chunk loader. By the way, this is my liquid XP drum. I didn't even realize that vacuum hoppers can transfer their XP out to other stuff when I built that thing. Although I realize that now, even though the Essence Orberry farm is probably way more efficient than that. Anywho, so now I've got the necessary supplies to start building all of these delicious air balloon blocks that we're going to need to make it so that that is the 40% thing on this ship, and I think 3 is gonna be enough. And I'm curious, I bet you that unfortunately the carpenter's blocks don't count as air balloon. You know what, I just want to see. I really don't think it's gonna be the case, but I'd really like to experiment with that. So let's see. This says air balloons 15, 48%. So can we turn you into an air balloon? Assemble ship? Yeah, 15, 48%. So unfortunately, no, it doesn't work like that. Can I? I want that back. I want the other one. Oh, God. Alright, well, they're gone. I don't feel like going all the way down there just to find them. So we're gonna have to make sure to include a lot of solid air balloon blocks in this design, but that's fine. So let's redo this nose plate with air balloons and then drop back a little bit and see what it looks like then. So we've got the basic nose cone done, except, oh, totally forgot to add a wedge slope. Boop. And then, boop. So we've got the basic I chose to turn the other way, didn't I? So we've got the basic front of the ship done. Now I need to worry about the cockpit. And this is likely going to be glass like so. We're using Carpenter's collapsible blocks to do this. So we'll place you against the side. The back end shouldn't have done that, unfortunately. So we gotta raise all this back up. And if we go all the way up to the very top with it, will it have a slight slope? No. It needs to go down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or is that just 3? Well, that looks about right, doesn't it? So we can put that right there. We're gonna go ahead and throw the passenger seat right behind the helm, which is going to be placed right here. Probably the best, I think. So now when we sit inside this thing, We are inside the glass of the cockpit, which is perfect. That's actually exactly what I want. Can I take the helm off? Nice. So it looks like I am just inside this one little bit. It's real tight. It's real cramped, but that is what a fighter jet is supposed to be like. And I forgot about the freaking parachute. I gotta fall all the way down because oh, no, what'd I do? I guess I pressed shift to get out of it? Interesting. I never knew that before. I think I was just trying to fly before when I did that. Coolio. So that's going to be where fighter pilot number 1... I need to disassemble this thing. Stop. Get out of the ship. You need to double tap shift. How strange. So, alright, let's get back in. No! Our fighter ship is going down! We need to make this thing fly. It's so slow. Alright, well, I'm going to bring this back up there. I'm going to put a passenger seat on it, and I'm going to continue working around the fuselage. Well, that's what we got so far. It's coming along real nicely, especially the cockpit region, and what I think is going to be the most fun with this thing. It's like we're looking at 300, so we're roughly less than 1/10, 1/7 about where we're going to be at. And when we mount the ship, this is exactly what we see. You try to do third person, but I have a feeling that's just not really going to work. You can't really get a view of the entire ship. You can go backwards third person, and that'd be fun. Anyway, so check this out. Let me go ahead and disassemble the ship before I go anywhere. Oh, you can just jump right out. Neat. I'm even considering putting a 4-inch microblock right here with a tiny little hole in the center so you could look up. So, the amount of time it took to do that, the sheep farm did its job. Look how much wool we have now. So we need to craft up a whole bunch more. So go ahead and start pulverizing for more string. We need to go ahead and start crafting up a whole bunch more air balloon blocks. And then I'm probably gonna continue... It looks like the wings are out by 16. It seems like a lot, but the wings don't have actually this extreme of a slope, do they? They have more of a sideways, so if you did one and then over and then one and over and one over, I might try that out. I'm going to experiment with that. Yeah, looking at the two sides, that just doesn't look aerodynamic enough. I know that's probably closer to the actual angle that planes have, but... thanks to the weird way that you have to make that angle in Minecraft, it's just really not... well, I suppose if it went out further, if it went out all the way like to that one, it would probably look decent. Yeah, well, I'll just finish this off. I gotta say, yeah, over a wider area, it sort of evens out those curves, and it looks much, 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 much better for a wing. So I'm probably going to take that approach, which means we gotta do the same thing over on this side. Now then, I have finished the various wing patterns, and this thing is starting to come together fairly nicely, if I do say so myself. We still got to put on the last tail fin, find out something we could put on the, whatever it's called, the back burner right there, and then we have to include all of the engines that are make this thing going to go as fast as a jet. So right now, I just got to finish putting the top bit on right here, finish this fin, and then I got to go grab materials for the rest. Now, the very last step in this process is going to be to place the engines, and I think back here is as good a place as any. Let's go ahead and have them facing out so you can see a little bit of technology coming off this thing. Because at the bottom, we're going to be placing the other 16 right down here, so this thing looks like it has a bit of a metal charm to it. Now, I just want to show you something real quick. This is my existing airship. It has 3 engines, and I was bragging about how fast it could go. Inconsistent, assemble, and mount. And this thing goes at a fairly reasonable pace once you get her going. I think one of our engines is possibly out of coal right now. No, it looks like they're all going. But this thing goes kind of fast. Our new ship up there, which is still not done, has 32 engines in it. 32, you guys. So I just need to do one last thing. And that is putting some weaponry on this bad boy. So I'll show you what I'm going to do in just a second. Also, why don't we go ahead and load up the fuel into the engines. And you guys, check this out. Using homeostasis tubes, we have created weaponry for our ship. Fits along with the theme real nicely, I think. That's the issue that I'm questioning, whether or not Archimedes is able to handle this. It's able to handle windmills, though, so it should be good. It should be good. Now, I think our jet is finally pretty done, you guys. I may want to repaint it at some point in time, but I'm really itching to fly this thing with its 32 engines. So, let's see what happens. We'll pop into the driver seat. We can assemble ship. Okay, 525 blocks, or 820 blocks. Ooh, a little less than half. And 525 air balloons. Of course it is totally right. And we have mounted the vehicle. Let's try backing up. Oh, and it's so fast! You guys. Oh my god, you guys, this is amazing. Check out this freaking jet fighter, dude. Oh man, we can just tear through the server. Oh, this thing is so fast! 32 engines! I may even want to put more because I feel like a jet fighter should go way faster than this, but well, it turns really quickly. Look at the rate of that turning. That's impressive. I want to go swing by the spawn town and see if anyone has anything to say about this. Oh, and it goes down so quickly too. That's so neat. Oh my god. You see anyone on radar? I don't see anyone on radar. Whoa. Can we zoom out a little bit? Oh man, it looks like Slipgator's going too. We gotta show this to someone. Alright, let's see if I can find some chords here. Dude. So, this is my plane, and unfortunately, it looks like when you get out of it, it messes with all of the carpenter's blocks, and it screws the direction that they go. Yeah,
but I came out of the portal, man, and I looked up, and I was like, wow.
Check this out. Was looking... Just right-click on it. You, sir, are now my co-pilot.
Oh yeah,
this freaking jet. Oh my god. Oh, you know, actually, I kind of like it better this way with the nice frilly sides.
Oh. I'm kind of glitching out a little bit.
Oh, well, darn it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's Archimedes for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, that's cool.
Yep. Well, that's my jet. Thanks for letting me show it off to you. That's all.
Anytime, man. You want to show it off some more? Let me know.
This thing's got 32 engines in it. This is gonna tear through charcoal so fast.
Oh, that was so sweet.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my functioning Archimedes jet. Oh, it's so sick. I love it. I love it. Just slap a little fancier paint on this thing, and we're ready to go. But I think that's it for today. I'm actually running out of time. I got super carried away with this thing. But that's it for today, guys. Join me next time, where I'm gonna do God knows what. Who knows? Ah! Later, guys.